I would put Brian De Palma's Carrie, the first and arguably still the best adaptation of a Stephen King novel, and still by far the greatest adaptation of that particular Stephen King novel, in the pantheon of perfect horror films alongside Jaws, Alien, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like those other horror masterpieces, Carrie couldn't possibly be improved by changing a single frame. It baffles me that Hollywood keeps trying to remake it, because De Palma nailed it right out the gate. He took the tragic heroine from the pages of King's book, cast the perfect actor to play her in Sissy Spacek, and brought her to life as a cinematic icon. The best horror movies are all about relatable fears. It Follows is about the risk of STDs, Talk to Me is about the slippery slope of addiction, and Carrie is about all the fears we face in high school. Bullies, social pressures, having no friends. When you're actually a teenager in high school, that stuff feels like a matter of life and death.
High school is such a serious thing. These problems matter.
In Carrie, it really is a matter of life and death. I've often seen Carrie White described as a villain. To be fair, she does go on a killing spree in the final reel, and she doesn't just kill the bullies. But I think it's a very unsympathetic view to label her a villain. I think she's more of a tragic figure. She's not a bad person, but she never stood a chance. She faces constant cruelty at the hands of her bullies all day at school, then she goes home and faces physical and emotional abuse at the hands of her volatile, overbearing religious zealot mother. Even the teachers make fun of her. She truly has no one she can count on. Carrie had no escape from the suffering and the inhumanity. It was only a matter of time before she reached her breaking point. The discourse around Carrie changed after Columbine, with Carrie being compared to a school shooter. But Carrie is nothing like those guys. She isn't an angsty white boy who convinced himself he's a victim. She's been truly victimized her whole life. Carrie didn't spend weeks planning her attack. She got put in the spotlight, publicly humiliated, and laughed at by a room full of people. After a lifetime of taking shit, she finally snapped and unleashed a power that she didn't understand and could barely control. I'm not excusing Carrie's actions or saying she's a flawless person, but she's nowhere near as despicable as those Columbine guys.
Don't blow it, Carrie, hit it! Oh! Carrie! Do it again!
The main aspect that makes Carrie so endearing is Sissy Spacek's performance. She gives a heartbreakingly authentic portrayal of a kid with no friends and no confidence. Her awkward body language and deep-seated sadness make it impossible not to empathize with Carrie. Spacek more than earns her Oscar nomination, and would have been a shoo-in for the actual award if it hadn't been the same year as Faye Dunaway's powerhouse turn in Network. The opening scene in the girls' locker room is mostly memorable for its rampant mid-70s nudity, or as Seth Rogen describes it in Knocked Up, opening credits bush.
Never get opening credit.
I know.
But this scene also does a great job of establishing the isolation and victimization that will eventually send Carrie over the edge. On the volleyball court, she hangs back and keeps to herself and gets pushed around by everyone for making one little mistake. In the locker room, all the other girls are hanging out in groups and laughing with each other while Carrie is in the showers alone. And then she gets her period for the first time, and since her puritanical mother never told her about menstruation, she has no idea what's going on. If you didn't know what to expect, bleeding out of your vagina for seemingly no reason would be terrifying, so she begs her classmates for help. And since they know it's just a period, they ruthlessly mock her genuine terror. And that's the kind of embarrassment that judgmental teenagers latch onto. It's their lifeblood, so to speak. When a high school bully gets in trouble for picking on one of their classmates, it can go one of two ways. They either realize the error of their ways and try to atone for their mistakes, or they double down and take the bullying even further. The latter is much more common. In Carrie, these two possible pathways are represented by Sue Snell and Chris Hogginson. Sue is genuinely remorseful and tries to make it up to Carrie, while Chris starts planning the pig's blood prank that will trigger Carrie's climactic breakdown. Amy Irving plays Sue's conscience brilliantly, and Nancy Allen plays Chris's lack thereof just as brilliantly. There's some ambiguity around Sue's redemption. I've seen some folks say that her remorse doesn't seem genuine, but I believe it is. Sue isn't evil. In the opening bullying scene, she just gets caught up in the mob mentality. There's that old excuse that everyone was doing it. But Chris really is evil. She treats everyone like they're beneath her, even her boyfriend, who she supposedly likes, and throws a tantrum until things go her way. We all remember horrible bitches like Chris Hargensen at school. I love Pino Donaggio's score for Carrie. You'll be humming his tunes long after the film is over. Donaggio makes spectacular use of piercing, psycho-style violin strings to punctuate Carrie's telekinesis. It puts you on edge every time she unleashes a bit of her power. And he also nails the more classical scoring of the teenage melodrama. Donaggio's music is a big part of why the prom scene lands so effectively. He delicately weaves in and out of tense rhythms before the rug pull. His suspenseful score builds great tension as the camera cranes up to the bucket of pig's blood precariously placed over the stage. Then he switches to sweeping romantic orchestrations as Carrie and Tommy are named prom king and queen and take the stage to collect their crowns. This is the high point of Carrie's life. She finally feels seen and valued. And then Donaggio pulls the rug out with another unnerving musical turn as Carrie's greatest moment becomes her worst with the drop of a bucket. The music in Carrie is the work of a master craftsman. Like all the best horror composers, Donaggio has an unwavering stranglehold on the audience's emotions.
Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Carrie.
Hey, traitor!
Have you ever seen Carrie?
You have messed with the wrong girl. Because I have the power of telekinesis.
Is there a draft in here or something?
The prom scene is so ubiquitous in pop culture that it's probably been spoiled for anyone watching Carrie for the first time today, like the shower murder in Psycho or the chestburster in Alien. But the movie still works with that spoiler, and arguably works even better with that spoiler. It's the inevitable meltdown that Carrie's endless anguish is building towards. If you know it's coming, it creates a feeling of dread throughout the whole film. It's also what makes Carrie so rewatchable. Regardless of whether it's been spoiled, the prom scene is one of the best directed sequences of De Palma's entire career. He keeps track of everyone's perspectives and the geography of the space perfectly. On its way to the thrilling payoff, the scene never stops building suspense with quicker cuts, tighter close-ups, and a faster tempo in the musical score. After the bucket drops and Carrie snaps, the whole auditorium is bathed in red light. This blood-red lighting makes all the difference to create an unsettling atmosphere and show Carrie becoming unhinged. Then the whole building goes up in flames, a perfect visual symbol of Carrie's rage. Not everyone will agree with me, but I don't see Carrie as the villain, even after this massacre. At the end of the movie, as she washes off the blood and brings the house crumbling in on herself, I still feel bad for her. Yet I find it hard to feel bad for some of the people she kills, like Chris or Margaret. They kinda get what they deserve. You can only push a person so far. All Carrie deserved was basic human decency, and she didn't get it from anyone.
Pigs? It was supposed to be pig's blood.
I didn't finish the book.
You stopped reading after the word pigs? That wasn't even the end of the sentence.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.